My people, blessed Friday, yo. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Matala FC.
I'ma do my stuff.
We are within. Shout out for tuning in, guys. Hope y'all are having a good one as we break down a segment that should excite Chelsea fans and intimidate the rival fan. So if you're a rival fan, firstly, blessings for tuning in.
What I'm talking about.
Our small family has been growing rapidly. I have to thank y'all for that, especially over the Club World Cup and how joyous it was to be reviewing games for you guys only for us to become champions. You get me? So today, the segment is lineups. How do we line up with this Chelsea depth? Of course, there'll be rotation involved. And one daring thing I'm doing today, I'm confirming in advance that Xavi Simons and Jorel Hato, the double Dutch, they will join. So I'm daring life because it's not confirmed. There's no here we go, but I'm going with them in these lineups. So 4 lineups. One for the Champions League, the intense one, and then the less intense Champions League 11. So, you know, football, guys, as much as every game can have its difficulties, there are the games that are more difficult, a lot more tricky than others. The Premier League is actually more of a headache because almost every game has a different challenge. So you guys can actually demarcate for yourselves. You know, you guys can tell which one is intense, which one is less intense. But we're going to name 4 lineups: intense, less intense for Champions League, intense, less intense for Premier League. Oh, that's a mouthful.
Here we go.
Let's start with the Champions League, in which Chelsea have returned. The intense 11 for the games that are tricky, the difficult games, the games we need to win in order to make it into the top 8 of the league phase of that Champions League. I'm going with Liam Delap as our striker, Pedro Neto on the left. Though we do know he prefers the right, I'm placing Cole Palmer as our right wing so as to accommodate Xavi Simons as the cam in this lineup. And I just look at that front four. What a beautiful front four, guys. And it's going to change in the less intense lineup, but we have the pivot alongside Simmons of Moise Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez. And if anything, that South American pivot are more of the mainstays in every 11 that I've constructed thus far. So we need those two, especially Caicedo, guys. Need we say more? We know how important he is for what we're trying to achieve, what we've already achieved. You get me? Backline at left back, mainstay, important player. Reece James at right back. Yes, it's an intense game in the UCL, but I'm trusting our captain to preserve himself. Cucurella can invert into the midfield with Reece James forming part of the back three with Chalobah and Colwill. And in goal, our newfound goalkeeper, a man that's proving us wrong perhaps, Robert Sanchez in goal. Champions League less intense lineup. Joao Pedro starts as the striker for this one. Alongside him, actually around him, 2 Brazilians with Andres Santos in the cam position and Esteval Willian on the right wing. Jamie Gittins makes the lineup as the left wing in this one. And Moise Caicedo remains. He's just so important. I can't put him out, guys. I can't do it. And then, if you guys have noticed there, either Dario Esugo or Romeo Lavia. Now, this is not based on the paranoia that Lavia might get injured, even though that's a painful reality. I just feel I couldn't pick between the two. If Dario Esugo gets more and more comfortable in our setup, he could overtake Lavia. We understand Lavia is very good, press-proven player. He's calm. You know, he makes our game look simple. But Dario Esugo could bring those qualities to the fold, and he shoots from distance. So we might need that for certain games where teams play low blocks. You know, the threat of Chelsea's attack is intimidating teams. World champions, you get me? Backline, as we said, we're daring. So Jorel Hato as a left back, Tosin next to another daring shout because he has to stay fit by some miracle. Wesley Fofana alongside Tosin. And if Fofana is to stay fit for the beginning of next season, I feel Enzo Maresca will really preserve him. You know, in a way that we might even forget he's in the team. Like, he'll play that odd game. You get me? But when he does play, may he shine. May he bring back his best form. Because Fofana's class. He really is class on his best day. Malo Gusto at right back for the less intense UCL games. And in goal, And I'll confess, this is the only time I see us changing the goalkeeper position when we give Jorgensen a chance to start the less intense Champions League games. So let's go to the Premier League, guys, the most important competition where we really judge how much we've progressed as a team. We made it into the top four last season. Can we go higher? Chelsea fans will feel so, but you know us as Chelsea fans, we don't speak too much. We don't do that here. We don't jump the gun. We keep it steady, we keep progressing, and then we get where we're going. You get me? Front three. And I don't know what you guys think of this. I'd actually love your thoughts, but I'm going. This is the intense one. I'll emphasize that. Xavi Simons as the left wing or left mid of sorts. In that left half space, he can operate there, come closer to Palmer when we form the 4-2-2-2. And then Esteval Willian starting the intense Premier League games as our right wing. If you guys notice, Pedro Neto's on the bench, but that's because Pedro Neto, I believe, will start the intense Champions League games. So he can be rested and come off the bench should we need a different form of outlet if Esteval is struggling or if Xavi Simons is struggling, because Pedro Neto can do both. You get me? And then we have Cole Palmer in the cam role, natural position. If anything, this is the midfield three we trusted last season. Caicedo and Enzo behind Palmer. Of course, Enzo playing that 8 role where he moves forward. And I'm seeing Cucurella being the one to actually invert again. I don't see Gusto inverting in this system. So also, Gusto's a key point. I'm starting Gusto for the intense Premier League games because I think Gusto deserves it. He stepped up to that extent. Hence, I put him in the less intense Champions League side because I feel he deserves the intense Premier League games. And like I said, guys, you guys will define for yourselves what's intense, what's not. I would say maybe bottom 10 teams in the Premier League, less intense. Top 10, more intense or intense. I don't know. And then in goal, mainstay, Robert Sanchez. Oh, and I didn't mention the centre back pairing of Levi Colwill and Tosin, because Tosin is in the less intense Champions League lineup. He deserves to start the Premier League games where we need to win the big 6 games. You get me? And then the final one, guys.
Subscribe, like, comment.
We have Liam Delap as a striker. This is the less intense Premier League side. Esteval Willian behind Liam Delap in the cam position. Esteval Willian's agent did speak, saying that the reason Chelsea's project enticed them is because we promised Esteval Willian a more central role in the team. And this is where we provide that promise, where we give him what he expects. He can start as a right wing. He can even play on the left. Esteval is versatile, but I want him to play in that midfield. How does he gel alongside a fellow Brazilian, Andre Santos, starting the less intense Premier League games, and Moise Caicedo? Moise Caicedo is crucial. He has to start, guys. I can't put him on the bench. I failed. And then Marc Cucurella starting. Did I place Cucurella in both teams? I did. João Hatzo's not starting in terms of Premier League. So I think this was deliberate. No, this was not a mistake. Cucurella is that important as well. All Premier League games, we expect Cucurella on the pitch. And then, of course, right back, we place Reece James, Tosin, alongside Benoit Badiashile. This is the only place I see Badiashile getting minutes. Champions League, he could get minutes. He probably will when Maresca rotates. But if I'm going with a fixated lineup, a fixed setup, I would give Benoit Badiashile minutes in the Premier League. I think he's earned it. He did well in the Club World Cup towards the end of last season. You could see his game improving. Jamie Gitsons, I don't know if I mentioned him, is in this less intense Premier League lineup. So yeah, guys, might find a way. I hope I can find a way to put all these lineups maybe on one spreadsheet of sorts so you guys can see them all and see if I've made sense of the rotation aspect. But of course, when other players are on the pitch, others are on the bench and still available to come and impact the game. So Chelsea. Oh, and Robert Sanchez remains in goal. Less intense and intense games. I believe Robert Sanchez starts all the Premier League games. So him, Cucurella, and Caicedo, it's almost like I'm saying indirectly that those are our most important footballers at the club. You get me? But let me know your thoughts, guys. This was a segment I needed to think about, contemplate. So before you judge me, slander me, kindly do the same, guys. You get me? Thank you for tuning in again, guys. Blessed Friday, blessed weekend. We'll be back. Let's get it, y'all.